All right, hey everybody, RV Enthusiast here. Nice seeing you again. Hey, I am in my old house. You can hear the echoing in the background. It's pretty empty right now. We have it on the market to be sold. I haven't talked to you in a while. It's been on the market a little while. We had an offer pretty much straight up in the first 4 days it being on the market. That offer dropped out. So we're kind of back on the market, or continuing to be on the market. It's been on, it'll be on maybe a month and 4 days come January, first week of January. And then we're going to take it off the market for a little bit, just because the market's a little bit soft right now. And we're going to wait for, just maybe the 1st of February and put it right back on the market. We're not taking it off, the broker's taking it off. Anyway, you can see it's all done. Pretty much everything's done and out. They got the sock bin here. But what I'm here for is my Sub-Zero refrigerator has, my wife came in the other day, we were doing some stuff, and even though everything turns on, it's warm inside. So, if you see right here, I don't know if you can see it. Here, you can hear it. And you can see this fan actually turns and runs in the refrigerator portion. So the Sub-Zero stopped working. It has power. Typically, when that goes warm, my first instinct is the condenser fan. And on a Sub-Zero, most of the workings are up here. Now, your fridge may vary, and the newer fridges with a lot of electronics might be different, but on this particular refrigerator, and probably any refrigerator, you know, in the early years, like this one's from like 1987, 88, 89, somewhere in there, but even any Frigidaire or other refrigerator of its type would have some of the similarities I'm going to show you and what I think is wrong with the refrigerator. So we'll jump up in here. I'll take this off. I'll try to set you aside for a little bit and let you kind of see if I can get you up here at a distance, but maybe you can see what I'm doing from that angle. If you can't, I will edit this a little bit and you will kind of see where I'm at. So I've already been into this and I've already looked at some of the stuff, but not everything. So on a Sub-Zero, this panel just pulls down. There's a spring that holds it up into place. There it is. And this panel just pops off. And like I said, I've been in this already. So, and then what happens, this panel sits here like so. It's got 2 screws. You unscrew it, you take this out. Okay? Now I'll bring you a little closer. A little bit dirty. I guess I could have cleaned that a little bit better. I didn't see that with this new light here. Looking at it, it's a little dirtier than I thought it was. But then on this side, you got the condenser. So this is the fan. Several ways to test it. This fan actually, if you come back here, has a nice plug-in. So all you have to do on this particular one, and some may not have this, some may be hardwired. So on this particular one, you just unplug it. This is the fan. You would take, you got 3 leads, one's a ground, 2 are a return and a hot wire. But if it's unplugged, you just put a probe in here and a probe in here and check for continuity. You could put a probe in here and in here, put on low voltage, and then, or AC, and then spin that, and you'll see that it'll fluctuate the power. That'll tell you if this is good. The other way, a little more dangerous, a little more active, is I take, and I put a probe in here and a probe in here, and I take the other end of the probe, put it into my 110 volt outlet. That spins the fan one way or the other. Then I know the fan is good. That's not necessarily the best way to do it, but it's the way I do it because it's the way I make sure that that fan is working. This fan is working. To get this fan out, there's just 4 screws. One here, one here, one over here, and one over here. And you just got to unscrew those. The whole fan comes out, and that's how that is done. So I'm going to put this back in. So now that I've figured out it is not the fan, what else could it be? So if it's not the condenser fan, you really need a schematic diagram to kind of see what the possibilities are that it could be on your particular model. So mine, I hope, are in this bag. It says wiring diagram. Now I didn't use this, I just looked it up online. So I just looked this up online via the wiring diagram. This wiring portion is a little more complicated, and it's a nice blown out diagram for what you're looking for. This is a little more simple schematic to deal with. So on my particular one, if you look down at the legend, M3 is the condenser motor, which is right here, and then M2 is the freezer fan motor. So if you look here, this little M, there's nothing in the legend that says what that M is. What this is a manual little timer circuit for defrosting. I think that's what that one is. No. S7. Yeah, S7. That's the defrost timer. And then this S5 is the refrigerator thermostat control. So if you look in this line here, you got power coming in here, you got power going out here. As we come into the line, if we're connected here, it comes through and it powers both of these motors. But if this is disconnected, which it's over here, and running the defrost cycle, then these two motors are stopped during that particular portion of the timing, whatever it may be, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever that timer may be telling it how long it's to be off. What my gut is telling me is this defrost timer is stuck on this position, keeping these resistors or heating elements heating and defrosting the freezer. If it's not that, the only other thing it can be is this S5, which is the thermostat itself. If this is open, then I got no power here, and I could tell that by checking this S8, S9. S8, S9 is compressor overload and compressor start relay. Well, for me, that's a little bit harder than just trying to cycle this. I'm going to try to cycle this and see if that turns these two motors on. If that turns these two motors on, it's this relay. It's that. Then it will be that. Then it will be that that circuit, a defrost timer. This fan's not turning. If this fan's not turning and that fan's not turning, let me shut the, here, I'll turn the light off. Well, I'll keep the light on, don't matter. When I do this, that fan should go on. It is not going on. So both those fans not working tells me it's either the defrost circuit or it's the thermostat, one of the two. It can't be anything else according to the wiring diagram. So I'm gonna get started on this and I'll get back with you in just a second. Okay, so I got this screw left. And I'll take this screw out, and then this whole bottom should not fall down. Hopefully it'll stick up. There it is, that's down. So then I can peel this off. There we go, hang on. I only have two hands, so I'm gonna have to set you down for a second. Here we are back at it. And that element, I'm not exactly sure where it is. I don't feel anything. I don't know, because, you know, to me, it's, I'm not. That is right here. I think that's the overload circuit. And it looks okay. There's nothing, you know, blown out on it. It's not stretched out. So I think that's probably okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to plug this in, and then there's a little on this side over here somewhere, right there. That little hole, I can stick a screwdriver in there and turn it, and what that's doing is that's rotating the manual, and it'll click. click, 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 and then once I get past the defrost portion, it should turn everything back on. If it does, I know it's that defrost timer, and I have to replace it. So this will tell me if that's what it is. If that's what it is, then I'm good to go, and I'll replace that timer. Now, I have to order it. Here, I'm trying to separate this out so I can kind of stand you up and kind of let you see where I'm at. I hope this is working good enough for you, but what it'll do is it'll allow me to, if this is what it is, I can replace that timer, and it's no big deal. And that timer's like 10 bucks. Okay, I also want to plug this back in, just because this will be the easier one for me to hear or see starting to function. There we go, that's plugged in. Okay, so now if I start clicking this over, if it is this defrost timer, this should work. Unfortunately, I can't get this screwdriver in there. Maybe I should take it out. Okay, here's the timer. So what I gotta do, it looks like it is stuck, it looks like it. So I'm gonna stick a screwdriver in there and see if I can get this to move, and that should turn all that on. Hang on. So I'm gonna move this just a little bit and see if that starts the refrigerator working. Okay, so the thermostat is set somewhere in between now. So this should actually go on if that's the case now. All right, it doesn't look like it's the timer. That to me was the easiest thing to check. If it's not that in this circuitry, the only other thing, unless it's a wire being broke somewhere, is this thermostat here. So now I've got to take this out and test that. Okay, on my refrigerator, pretty simple. There's two screws, one goes up under here, one goes up under here. You take that off, this panel comes off, and then this is the thermostat right here. So if it's not the defrost timer, it's definitely not just the two fans. That's unlikely that those would go out and be in heat. So I pulled these two off right here, and now we're going to check and see. And how we'll do that is we'll just short these two together, and if that stuff turns on, if the two fans turn on, it's this defrost or thermostat control. Let me show you what happens when I short these two together. Now, I won't do it long because I know that's what it is and I have to fix it, and I got to order that part. Don't know how much that part is. I know the defrost mechanism's only 10 bucks. But now I've got metal into this probe. Now don't touch anything because you don't want to get shocked. And then on this side I got metal into this probe. When I touch these together, you'll hear it cycle those fans. See? Now it's trying to cool the refrigerator. Now it's not. So I know for a fact that's my culprit. So instead of replacing this refrigerator, which is 30 years old, it's an 84-inch tall refrigerator, so only a few refrigerators fit in that particular size opening. Otherwise, I got to modify cabinets. That's not happening. Anyway, just a little bit of troubleshooting, a little bit of looking at the diagram and seeing that there's only 3 possible things that could cause the problem. 3 things, right? One's a fan motor. Up there, that fan motor's $40. That delay cycle timer's $10. That's what I thought it was. That's what I hoped it was. Bummer, not that. It is this little circuit right here. I would imagine that is under $60. I will let you know. I'll put that right here. And that's how much it costs. I don't know yet because I gotta research that. But now, to replace that, pretty simple. There's just 2 screws up here. I gotta unscrew that. Then I gotta follow this wherever this goes. This probe, and this wire is simple. I don't care about the wire. I can cut the wire and re-put it there. It probably goes to a plug somewhere. But I'll have to follow this one down because that's the probe that's going down into the fridge to tell me, you know, what that temperature is. So probably what I'll do is I'll cut this here, I'll connect it, and I'll draw it down into there and then replace it where it goes. Done. It'll probably take me an hour to do, maybe a little longer, but a technician that knows what they're doing, be pretty fast. My guess on a repair like this, my guess is somewhere in the neighborhood, if they were to come out and do it, they're going to charge you in the neighborhood of $330 to $500 on a refrigerator that's, you know, 9,000 bucks. Again, this thing's so old, it's just simple to work on. Anyway, that's my video for today. I know I haven't been with you in a while. I got over 800 subscribers. I'm just not going to put out stuff now anymore that, you know, doesn't have a little bit of meaning. I probably still will because that's just who I am. But I'm trying to wait on content that has value to someone to watch it. I don't want to put out videos that are going to get 50 views or 60 views. It's a waste of my time and a waste for, you know, you guys to even click on the button and say, yeah, I don't want to watch that. So I'm going to try to put out things that are a little more informative to people. And I do appreciate every subscriber I got. So with that said, thanks for joining me. I don't think I'll put a follow-up on this unless there's some unique stuff to fix this. Then again, maybe I won't put this out until I get that fixed. And if that's the case, you'll get to see that too. But thanks for joining me. Remember, full-time, part-time, anytime is a great time to RV. Thanks for joining me today. So I know I'm an RV channel, and I know that's where the bulk of my people are. This is a residential refrigerator, okay? Residential refrigerator in a house and in an RV, if it's a residential refrigerator, is the same. If you have problems with your residential refrigerator in your RV, and you don't want to pay RV prices to have people fix it, very simple stuff to do. Very simple stuff to do. Remember, this is a 30-year-old refrigerator, and being that it's a Sub-Zero, all of its start parts are up here, this little bit here, and then down below where I showed you. This is it. That's everything. Other than some coil, no, this doesn't even have coils in the back. It's solid surface in the back. That's everything, and that's the beauty of a Sub-Zero and working on it. So, yeah. Pretty simple. Okay, guys, I'm going to button this up except for that. Yeah, I'll probably button that up too, because in case I have people walking through the house, they won't open it up and go, oh, it's destroyed. So, okay, thanks for joining me.
To like, share, and subscribe, click the logo to the left.